This is the tale of two brothers, two bronzed Aussies who live for surf lifesaving. One of them is a champion athlete. The other one, well, he lives in his brother's shadow. And together, they run an illegal drug business, a $1 million ecstasy ring. You're about to see actual police footage of Olympic kayaker Nathan Bagley and his younger brother Drew. Actual evidence of their drug dealing. All recorded while they had no idea that their little secret was about to be blown wide open. It's 2004, and 29-year-old Nathan Bagley is an Olympic hero, a dual silver medalist.
Nathan was exceptional. He's the world champion.
World champion, superstar. He seemed to do everything right. Nathan lived in Byron Bay on the New South Wales north coast, a tight-knit community where the locals know everyone. And everyone knew the Bagley brothers. Nathan and his brother Drew, 7 years his junior. At 22, Drew is making it at sport's local level, playing first-grade football for Ballina. But he never quite fills the big sports shoes of his older brother. In 2005, just a year after his Olympic glory, Nathan Bagley made headlines for the wrong reasons.
Olympic medal-winning kayaker Nathan Bagley has been banned from competing for 15 months.
Bagley tested positive to 2 anabolic steroids.
Nathan's excuse for how the steroids stanozolol ended up in his system? It was his brother Drew's, and he drank from his orange juice.
All I can say between you and me is I don't take drugs, I've never taken drugs.
But it didn't wash with sports governing bodies, and Nathan was suspended from competition.
I tend to believe him about the steroids allegation. I don't tend to believe him about anything else, but I do tend to believe him about that.
Over the next few months, persistent rumours begin to emerge about Nathan and Drew Bagley.
There were certainly whispers within the community, particularly in the surf club community. It was generally reasonably well known that Nathan is or may be involved in the distribution of ecstasy.
Ecstasy, a drug taken in a tablet that has been known to kill. And just 6 months after the steroid charge, in February 2007, Nathan and another associate were caught with it.
Disgraced former Olympic kayaker Nathan Bagley is facing drug charges on the Gold Coast.
It's alleged the 31-year-old Olympian was found with more than 700 ecstasy tablets.
I picked Nathan up from the watch house. I thought he was smarter than that. I told him, I said, mate, they're going to be watching you forever. And he told me, I know.
His surf club coach was spot on. The associate, who was with Nathan at the time, pleaded guilty to possessing a dangerous drug and was sentenced to jail for 2.5 years. The charges against Nathan were dropped, but police weren't finished with Nathan. They still had their suspicions. In July 2007, Strike Force Allawah begins, a joint operation between the New South Wales Drug Squad and Tweed Byron Local Area Command to target the suspected dealing of the Bagley brothers.
We started listening to their phones and commencing surveillance upon them.
This is the actual police footage and audio.
Yeah, copy mate, our bloke's just been on the move.
Police are also following Drew Bagley, Nathan's younger brother.
He's run over to the driver's side.
This is some of the early police surveillance of Drew Bagley.
Okay, he's continuing through the car park. We've got Drew on the mobile.
Police discover that mobile is one of 12. Yes, 12 different mobiles that Drew has on rotation. So every time he takes or makes a phone call, police are listening.
I guess their strategy is that the police haven't got all our phone numbers, so they couldn't possibly be listening to all our phones. Sometimes we are.
The phone tap pays off. 2 months into the investigation, and police discovered Drew is flying from Queensland to Sydney every week. The question is, why?
We received information that Drew was going to come out to Sydney to pick up some ecstasy tablets, and we're thinking it was around the 15,000 tablet mark.
It's the morning of Drew's flight, and this is the actual police footage taken by detectives as they secretly tail Drew's vehicle. He gets out of the car and hops on a plane bound for Sydney, where a second team of detectives will also be waiting.
We set up a surveillance operation in Sydney at the domestic airport. On the day, I was actually inside the terminal, so I followed him down to the luggage carousel where he picked up a bag. He got into a cab.
Now in Sydney, police followed Drew to a local smash repair shop.
He met up with a number of people that we knew were drug suppliers.
Just tell everyone I've got video. I'm getting video of them now. They're at the car. They're at the car.
That's Drew with the cap on the left, being secretly filmed by police. You are watching a turning point in the investigation. Not only do police have footage of Drew, but anyone else they see, any car in this car park, could be a lead, could be involved in what is going on inside the smash repair shop.
After several hours, Drew left those premises where he was driven back to the airport. Again, we had surveillance on him.
When Drew gets to the airport, he checks in. He checks the bag in too.
The bag was obviously bulkier and heavier.
Drew boards the flight to the Gold Coast. Unaware, police have been watching him the entire day.
After he checked his carry bag and gone to the boarding gate, we attended and actually seized his luggage.
Police now have Drew Bagley's luggage. Drew is already miles high, thinking his bag is in the cargo hold. Police are about to search Drew's luggage without him even knowing.
Okay, I have reasonable cause to believe that this bag contains prohibited drugs. That therefore gives me the power to search this bag.
And this is straight from the police files.
In the bag is a backpack, black with brown camouflage. And in that is a box wearing gloves, and no other person has touched the contents of the bag except for myself.
Could this be what police had hoped for? At Sydney Airport, police have just seized a bag from a flight to the Gold Coast. It belongs to Drew Bagley, and Drew is the younger brother of two-time Olympian and world champion kayaker Nathan Bagley. And right now, Drew is in transit, in a plane bound for the Gold Coast. He has no idea police are searching his bag.
He didn't open it.
Is it what detectives suspected?
Take the best I can. Okay, what we've now got.
You bet.
Yellowish tablets.
5,429 ecstasy pills. Purchased in Sydney, destined to be sold on the streets of the Gold Coast for $30 each. The street value of those 3 bags is more than $160,000. And there's still another box to come.
We had another box. Again, I'll do my best to preserve the...
What's in the second box is so tightly packed, police struggle to get it out. And here's why. It's staggering. Another $130,000 in ecstasy pills in one bag. It's the mother lode.
Tablets.
The total street value of all the drugs in Drew's bag is close to $300,000.
This seizure showed us that it was actually large commercial quantities that they were dealing in.
And that could carry a maximum penalty of 25 years jail. It's 9 p.m. and Drew arrives on the Gold Coast and soon realises the bag is missing. Drew makes some frantic phone calls. Drew leaves the airport. Surely he suspects something is up.
Several people did suggest to him that the police may be involved, but he tended not to heed that advice and they just kept going.
Detectives are about to make one of the hardest decisions they face when it comes to drug operations. They could arrest Drew right now, but if they do, they'll never know the full extent of the Bagley brothers' drug dealing. And they don't have enough evidence to arrest Nathan as well. So police bide their time. They allow Nathan and Drew to continue to deal drugs. They have to look at the bigger picture, and that means gaining enough evidence to bring down both drug lords.
It's frustrating for detectives. Nathan is back training, and Drew is spending much of his time at an oyster lease in northern New South Wales, a short drive from the Queensland border. It's the family business where they farm oysters, and the Bagleys have owned it for more than 9 years. Drew is here regularly. This is actual police footage of Drew's black four-wheel drive.
Traversing down towards the main area.
It's late October, more than 4 months into the strike force, and police suspect this secluded property where Drew works is also the location for Drew's drug deals.
This is driving along.
Detectives watch everyone who comes and goes from the oyster lease and who meet with Drew, but they need proof, and they decide to pull over one of the drivers as he leaves.
Stand by, guys. We've got the target vehicle just entering.
They find drugs, and the markings on those pills,
Maltese cross stamp on them,
will give detectives a massive breakthrough into the dealings of the Ecstasy brothers. Police are investigating Drew and Nathan Bagley and have just pulled over a driver spotted talking to Drew earlier. They find ecstasy pills.
Green pill with a Maltese cross stamp on them.
That cross is as good as a fingerprint.
All ecstasy pills normally have a unique stamp impressed upon them, where it be Chanel logo, Louis Vuitton, bull's horns. The markings on the pills were a Maltese cross.
And that will be part of the crucial evidence later in the investigation. Police have confirmed Drew is supplying drugs, but they suspect it's Nathan making the pills.
Suspicion is one thing, but police need proof. And so far, detectives have evidence against Drew, but nothing on Nathan. But their patience is about to be rewarded. What happens in the next 24 hours is a turning point in the investigation. Remember, police are still tapping the Bagley brothers' phones, and one of those taps reveals that Nathan is about to do a drug deal himself.
We've received some information that a person called Billa and Nathan Bagley were going to do a drugs transaction. We were particularly interested because we hadn't had footage of Nathan doing actual transactions himself to this point.
It's recording, mate.
It's the 16th of November, 5 months into the strike force, and you are about to witness the crucial evidence police long for on the Olympian Nathan Bagley. The man crossing the road, his name's Billa. He's a footy mate of Drew Bagley, and in his hands is a towel. He's about to buy drugs from Nathan Bagley.
Was? Yeah, mate, we've just got him outside. Shaker's got eye, and we've got eye on the camera as well.
Billa gave Nathan something wrapped in a towel, which was money. Nathan appeared to look at it, and then he put it in the back of his motorbike and drove off.
Nathan takes the cash out of the towel Billa gave him. He puts the drugs in and gives the towel back to Billa, the drug buyer. And a couple of hours later, police swoop and arrest the buyer, Billa.
Billa was stopped on his way down to Ballina. Vehicle was searched by the Hive Patrolling.
All right, we've got both people out of the vehicle.
They found the original towel that had been handed to Nathan, and obviously the tablets, and again they were stamped with the Maltese cross.
Yes, that same Maltese cross that police have seen on Ecstasy from other Bagley drug deals. Police now have evidence on both Nathan and Drew. The next day, the Bagley brothers discover their buyer, Billa, has been arrested.
Yeah, he's got Drew with his white shirt. Nathan's he's got a pair of shorts on, no shirt on. You could quite clearly see they were worried about something. And which the obvious conclusion was they were talking about Billa's arrest. Yeah, stood at the front talking. They seem to be fairly concerned about something.
The arrest has made the brothers anxious, and at any time, they could work out that police may be onto them. Police are still watching as Drew gets a text.
Yeah, it's got Drew looking at his phone, it's a text message or whatever. So he might be sending a text message.
Could this be another buyer?
Yeah, Drew's looking through his phone again.
So when Drew leaves Nathan's, police follow.
Okay, they're separating now. Okay, Nathan's back in the shed and Drew's going back into his vehicle. Okay, Drew's reversing out.
Yeah, I've got eyeball on him approaching Bayshore Drive. Yeah, Dom. See if there's a meeting takes place there, and if so, we'll bring the other vehicle north.
Detectives are still filming, following Drew to a nearby rest stop.
Go left, go left.
Police can see the car park.
I'd actually gone into the bushes to try and get some video footage.
But does that mean police can be seen as well?
Careful if they drive in there, mate. I'll see you.
Short time later, another vehicle arrives, meet up with Drew.
As a precaution, he moved a short distance away with Drew Bagley. They both drove to a location nearby and the transaction has taken place then.
Moments later, the buyer is arrested.
That vehicle stopped and that person was found in possession of 10,000 ecstasy tablets.
It is even more damning evidence, and police are closing in on Drew and Nathan. Police are now racing against the clock. They have to arrest Nathan before he flies overseas to compete in a kayaking tournament. And unbelievably, there is another massive reason looming to shut the pair down. Phone taps on mobile conversations between the brothers reveal the pair are planning to flood Schoolies Week with ecstasy pills.
It seems these days it's not uncommon for people like the Bagleys and younger men in particular to see not a great deal wrong in selling ecstasy to these kids, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds. I think it's a disgrace.
Police must arrest the Bagley brothers before the ecstasy makes it to the streets of the Gold Coast and Byron and into the mouths of teenage school leaders. Detectives also have to arrest both brothers at the same time.
Held a briefing at Tweed Heads Police Station. Probably had about 60 to 80 police there. We were executing 10 search warrants, probably about half a dozen of those simultaneously.
Almost 6 months after the police strike force was set up, it has just entered its final stage. Police swoop on Drew at the family oyster lease in Brunswick Heads and begin searching his belongings.
It says Billa, $7,800, JC, $3,000.
There is a very large bundle of 50s and other notes in there.
It's not long before they find evidence. Bundle after bundle of drug-dealing cash. More than 62,000 bucks. Drew knows that he's busted. And at the same time, his famous brother has been arrested too.
Well, you'll now be conveyed to the Byron Bay Police Station to be put into custody.
Nathan Bagley, the Olympic hero, is arrested at his girlfriend's home and taken to the Byron Bay Police Station to be formally charged.
Is this your mobile phone? You don't want to use it?
Yeah, no, people have borrowed it, but it's my primary phone, but yeah, people do use it.
Nathan is told police are searching his house.
Food saver vacuum packaging system with bags.
So far they've found cash, and in Nathan's bedroom, multiple mobile phones. But what's behind that chipboard will prove Nathan Bagley, the kayaking hero, was the one making the dangerous pill. Nathan Bagley, a former Olympic kayaker, has just been arrested by police. Other officers are searching his house and have just found the proof they were looking for.
There's a wooden trolley with wheels. On the trolley is a single station tablet press.
That is a pill press. It's used for making ecstasy. The powder goes in, it's pressed into a tablet, and ecstasy comes out. The press weighs 125 kilos and can produce 60 tablets a minute. That's $2,000 worth every 60 seconds. It's the same pill press that made the drugs that Drew sold to a man at the oyster lease and Nathan sold to the buyer, Billa. And it has that distinctive Maltese cross. Police now have all the evidence for the case against the Bagley brothers.
Former Olympic champion Nathan Bagley will spend Christmas behind bars. The 31-year-old has been remanded in custody on drug charges. It's alleged he was set to supply schoolies in northern New South Wales and the Gold Coast.
Nathan Bagley was sentenced to 9 years jail for manufacturing not less than 1,500 ecstasy pills and supplying a commercial quantity. Drew Bagley was sentenced to 12 years jail for manufacturing a large commercial quantity and supplying $1.3 million worth of ecstasy. Remember when Drew was at the Sydney Smash Repair? That's him in the black cap. In that quick snippet of police footage were vital clues to those who were providing the drugs to Drew Bagley.
Both walking over towards the panel beaters.
Blink and you'd miss it. But police follow up on a car and a suspect at the scene at the same time as Drew. It's now 12 months later, December 2008, and police managed to smuggle a hidden camera inside the Smash Repair. This is the actual footage from that tiny lens. The man from the car park? His name is Asim Kayaker. He's in the leather jacket on the left. He's the man that sourced the $300,000 worth of drugs for Drew Bagley 1 year earlier. The man on the right, in yellow, is Sargon Zaya. Asim is about to sell 5,000 ecstasy pills for $50,000. Sargon Zaya leaves with the money, but doesn't get very far. Asim Kayaker's days as a drug supplier are over. His days as an inmate are about to begin. As for Sargon Zaya,
like I told the other officer before, I was just here to pick up the money. I do not supply drugs.
Asim Kayaker was sentenced to 10 years, 6 months jail for supplying the drugs. Sargon Zaya was jailed for 3 years and 10 months for his part in the drug deal.
Police get tip-offs from many different sources. Informants, disgruntled customers. But this investigation started with a lead from a chemical company. An order was placed that just wasn't quite right. So police decide to do a stakeout of the business, not knowing who's going to turn up or where it's going to lead. But the surveillance paid off.
It only took one phone call, one tip-off, and police began their surveillance. This is the footage recorded by officers hidden inside a laboratory chemical supply company in southwest Sydney. Police are watching as two men collect chemicals they've ordered. And already, things are just not adding up.
For the father and son that came into the company, there was something that just wasn't right. They couldn't pronounce the actual substances. They had them written down on a piece of paper. They were going outside to make phone calls to clarify the quantities, and they didn't really understand how to transport these drums.
We had no idea what they were being used for because they weren't normal drug manufacturing to do with the speed side of things or the amphetamine type and also ecstasy.
Even though police don't know what the pair intend to do with the chemicals, including solvents, there are enough warning signs. Police must work out who the mystery pair are.
As a result, we made some investigation inquiries on the number and the name supplied, and we identified a father and son Duc being the son and Van being the father.
That's Van Dang, the father on the left. He's in his early 50s. His middle son, Duc Dang, in the blue and white striped shirt, is only 20 years old. The pair work in a chicken shop together when they're not collecting chemicals. Police may know who they are, but they still have no idea what they're making, so they follow them to a property in the southwestern Sydney suburb of Lidcombe.
The next point of the investigation was to establish a permanent observation of the chemicals.
Detectives set up a camera outside the house,
so as we could start to record cars and people and hopefully identify the rest of the syndicate that was involved.
Police see many different cars coming and going and suspect this is bigger than just a father and son operation.
We've been notified again by the chemical company that a larger order had been placed for a larger amount of chemicals of the same nature, therefore rousing our suspicions again that they were ramping up their operation to a larger scale.
Police get another tip-off, and when the members of the syndicate pick up the second order of chemicals, police are watching. When the pair who collected the chemicals drive off in their car, detectives follow. And what happens on the way back to the house really intrigues officers. They pick someone up, a Dutchman, a backpacker.
We identified the male as being a Dutch person, and at this stage we still didn't have a name for him, so he's referred to as the unknown Dutchman.
They take the Dutchman with them to the house that police have under surveillance.
And from that day onwards, he was part of the syndicate, and the Vietnamese seemed to take it in turns to babysit or be there with him.
That's the Dutchman on the right. Police don't know his name. They suspect the Dutchman is the one making the drugs. But what drugs? Police still don't know what's being produced. Maybe it's not illegal drugs at all. The chemicals are not the usual ones police would expect to make drugs. There's only one way to find out if it's a drug lab: to get a search warrant and get into the house while everyone is out. Police finally get a small window of opportunity. This is real police footage as detectives enter the suspected drug lab under a warrant. They head to the garage first.
Located in the garage was the chemicals that had already been purchased that day from the chemical company.
I have a 20-litre plastic square drum of hydrochloric acid, 32%.
They find the chemicals that were picked up from the company.
We had hydrochloric acid, acetone, dichloromethane, ammonia. These are all solvents and reagents that are used in a number of different drug manufacturing operations. We knew something was happening. We were still unsure as to what synthetic drug was likely to be produced.
With the garage done, police head into the house hoping to find some answers.
A plastic drum, it's Crown Scientific stigmide, or maybe that's the ammonia.
Then police uncover what they're looking for: signs of illegal drug making.
I have a red plastic bucket, half full of something soaking in water.
Inside the laundry, we saw a bucket of sludge. There was a chemical reaction taking place there. Something was happening. We took a sample of that to try and identify what drug was being produced.
Because police still don't know what drug it is, they'll have to get into the house again in a few days to see if the process has advanced. They'll not only check on the drug, they'll ramp up the surveillance. Police will install cameras and microphones inside the house. They wait till the Dutchman is out for the night, and in they head. Straight away, they find another bigger bucket.
I'll be careful not to disturb it too much.
And again, they need to take a sample for forensics to try to work out what drug it is. It's then time to quickly but carefully put in the cameras and the microphones. It's the only way police can work out what drug is being made inside. Just 24 hours later, police hear something intriguing. Police now know something will be delivered. But what? Drugs? Chemicals? Detectives wait for a truck or a package, but all they see is suitcases.
At this stage, we didn't know what was inside the suitcases or what their actual purpose was.
They watch on as the suitcases go past the camera and into another room beyond view. And within minutes, hear hammering.
There were some strange sounds coming from inside the lounge room area that we couldn't determine what it was. A lot of crushing and banging, and sounded like a hacksaw and the like.
The noise is incessant, and what police don't know is that that noise is going to be the key to the entire operation. Police are watching a house in Sydney's southwest. They've seen members of a suspected drug syndicate coming and going, including a man police call the Unknown Dutchman. Detectives have installed cameras and microphones inside the house, and they've secretly searched the house under a warrant while no one was home. They found buckets with drugs, but still don't know what illegal substance is being made. Police have watched as suitcases were taken into the house and listened as a mysterious banging is heard. Now police are going to have one of their biggest questions about the operation answered. The results are in from the samples from the buckets, and they now know what drug it is. It's cocaine in an early stage of production.
It was a surprise and a relief to actually have the substance identified as cocaine. It then opened the scope of the investigation up as to the possible importation aspects and greater distribution.
That cocaine must have been imported, but how? Police get another warrant. They must go back in for the third time to see if the cocaine has progressed to its final stages and work out how it may have come into the country.
As soon as we opened the door, we were hit with a very strong ammonia smell.
Police move through the house, room by room.
Okay, it's acetone. It's acetone, hasn't changed from before.
Police can see that all the chemicals are still there.
There you go.
Then they discover another piece of the puzzle.
It's fiberglass. That's it, it's a suitcase.
That is broken up pieces of suitcases. They've been ripped apart, and now police start to work out how the cocaine has come into the country. Cocaine had been put in a resin-like toffee and was set hard into the body of those suitcases. Once it was hard, the material lining of the suitcases was put over the top, and the suitcases were packed with belongings.
The fact that it was impregnated in a resin that was put inside the suitcases and then the lining put over the top was somewhat significant, and I don't think it's been seen before in Australia.
Then, when the suitcases reach their destination, the lining of the suitcase is pulled out. The cocaine set in the resin is stripped from the cases, leaving just the shell of the suitcases behind. The resin with the cocaine inside is put in a bucket and dissolved using chemicals including the solvent the drug makers picked up from the chemical company. The net is closing in. Now, police just need to find the cocaine. They make their way into the living room, and in the torchlight, they catch a glimpse of something white.
In the middle of the lounge room was a mirror, and on that mirror was, we estimated, about 5 to 8 kilos of white crystalline substance.
You are looking at cocaine base, the middle stage of cocaine being made. It's gone through a drug-making process, but it still has a long way to go. There are still many stages of drug making ahead before this base becomes cocaine that can actually be sold. Eventually, that base could make 5 kilograms of cocaine with a potential street value of $1.5 million.
Police have enough evidence to arrest the Vietnamese syndicate and the Dutchman, but they want to catch everyone involved. Who will they sell the drugs to? They know the Dutchman's belongings are still in the house, and the cocaine still has a couple of days of processing to go. If they wait, they can arrest everyone.
That means also catching the distributors and those importing the cocaine. But what detectives don't know is that the syndicate members have a surprise for police. Police have been conducting surveillance on a house in southwestern Sydney, a suspected drug safe house. They've watched the occupants leave and have managed to get inside, where they found cocaine base, the middle stage of the process to make cocaine. At first light, police will strike, raid the house.
It wasn't until the early hours of the morning, when the sun was up, that we could see on the footage from the live feed that come back that the 4 containers in the kitchen and laundry area had been removed. Therefore, it made us ramp up our response that something had happened.
The tubs in the kitchen police have seen before are gone. They immediately get into the property. It appears the Syndicate's been tipped off. There's no one here. Detectives find some of the chemicals that have been used to process the drugs. Without these chemicals, the cocaine base could not be finished, could not be sold.
In the corner, closer to the front of the house, there are 3 drums, 2 blue ones, 1 white, 2 drums of acetone, 1 of hexane. They're all solvents.
Police find a press. This is also reassuring for police. Without this tool, the cocaine cannot be pressed into blocks to be sold.
On the carpet, just inside the front door, there's white residue, bits of white paper, more granules of white residue.
Next, police go to the house of the father and son, Van and Duke, the 2 men police got the initial tip-off about at the Laboratory Chemical Supply Company.
As anything you said will be recorded and may later be used in evidence.
They're looking for any proof of their intention to make drugs.
Now, these glass beakers have been located here. Can you explain to me what these glass beakers are for?
Nói tao còn con của một người vợ nữa, vợ tao còn người vợ nữa.
He said, his stepson, my stepbrother.
Detectives search everywhere. Police continue their search, leaving the house and now concentrating on the van.
Is it your van or is it not your van?
Yeah, my van.
It is your van. Just want to come around with me, Mr. Day.
They find chemicals.
Ammonia solution.
These were the same chemicals police had seen at the safe house. These were crucial in the process of turning the cocaine base into coke that could be sold on the street. And even more evidence. Recognise these? The suitcases used to import cocaine resin. Police have their drug lords. Van and Duke are arrested. As for the unknown Dutchman,
he seemed to be a significant link in not only our investigation, but probably numerous others throughout the world. As a result, the investigation is still running. His fingerprints that were identified at the scene have been sent off to Interpol. I'm waiting for the day that we get notified that a Dutchman's been arrested. It'll be a good day.
Van, the father, was charged with manufacturing a large commercial quantity of a prohibited drug and supply. He was committed to stand trial, but died before his case was heard. Duke, his son, was sentenced to 2 years jail for the manufacture of a large commercial quantity of cocaine.
It's always tricky keeping an eye on a drug lord. In the city, police have plenty of crowds to blend in with, people to hide behind. But out here in the country, it's a whole new ball game. There are many less people around, and dirt roads are often the only way in and out of a suspected drug den. That's the dilemma that police faced with this operation. 600 kilometres from the nearest capital city. And in the end, police just had to pounce.
This is actual police surveillance footage, filmed deep in the bush.
Time's 12 minutes past 2. 12 minutes past 2. It's a white caravan.
They've received a tip-off that members of a Greek family have moved to New South Wales and are growing cannabis. The surveillance is happening almost 600 kilometres from Sydney. Drug police are on a remote property outside Narrabri in country New South Wales. This is as close as they can get. There's only one dirt road in and out.
When we identified the property, we couldn't determine where the actual cannabis plants were. It was quite a large property. It was fairly well concealed from the road. There were a lot of trees and bushes to give coverage to the cannabis plants.
Police can see cannabis drying out. Because of the remoteness of the location, any unusual noise could give police away. They whisper.
We have a clear cannabis crop site over here. It's fenced off. We've got empty pots. Got a generator going in the background and 3 people on site at the moment that have been identified. The caravan we videoed earlier is located in this track. We've identified another area of drying cannabis plants. Through here, past that chicken wire fencing. Got a fairly large area of drying cannabis hanging from wires. Roots have been cut off.
All of a sudden, their target appears. This man, Vasilios Hansis. He's known as Old Bill, and this is one of the only pieces of police surveillance.
If you looked at these individuals, you'd not pick them to be involved in the criminal element. They would be your local Greek, people within your community, generally of middle to senior age or mature age.
I just saw the guy wearing the green singlet walk over to the drying cannabis plants and disappeared out of my sight at present. Information from detective is that he's got activity of people pulling the dried plants down.
Police can see cannabis, but how much and how many people are involved?
Certainly once we got the eyeball location of the cannabis, we didn't know how many were there because you can't get too close. We had enough evidence to apply for search warrant.
Police know there is cannabis beyond the fence and who is responsible. The time for watching is over. Police must now raid the property. It's time to make the arrests.
Nothing can prepare you for seeing the volume of cannabis.
We've identified another area of drying cannabis plants.
Police are about to raid a rural property in the middle of country New South Wales, a cannabis plantation, unaware of how huge it is going to be.
And sure enough, as soon as the helicopter went over, 2 or 3 people that decided to make a run for it.
Because of the remoteness of the property, police are only now getting a clear picture of the size of the plantation.
Big rolls of black plastic, which you'll find right throughout the property. It's been laid out. And as we go through the property, we'll find massive bales of this black plastic. And inside the black plastic, there's large amounts of cannabis, and it's right throughout the property. I wouldn't be able to estimate how many.
Police walk through a maze of cannabis, and it dawns on them, this is a massive bust.
Nothing can prepare you for seeing the volume of cannabis. The volume of the cannabis is such that if you've got 2 large trucks, think of that absolutely full, bursting at the seams, where you need front-end loaders to take it out.
Police begin breaking down the plantation. And even more police have the task of rounding up the workers.
You're under arrest for cultivating cannabis. You do not have to say or do anything. Anything you say or do will be recorded and may be used in evidence at court.
Some of the workers are family or friends of the drug lord, unskilled migrants flown in to do hard drug labour.
And what work were you doing? Cleaning. And specifically, what were you cleaning?
Do you understand that marijuana or cannabis is an illegal drug in New South Wales?
No, it's not legal. No, it's not legal.
Police round up every person. Next, they move inside.
So, Penny, this is your room?
Yeah.
Okay.
This woman is Penny Leosis. She's been making meals for the workers.
And is it only you 2 in these?
In this room?
Yeah.
Yes.
She was the person in charge of the house, or coordinated the house, the cook. She kept the lists of what's required for food, what was required for medications.
Penny had an involvement in doing drug runs for that family. She would take drugs and money interstate I think it may have been through some card games that she actually met up with the family.
Penny is arrested, and outside police are about to get their biggest find. They come across a shed, locked, but that won't be a problem. Police get in, and even they will be shocked by what they find.
Numerous vacuum cleaner bags filled with little bits of cannabis. This area appears to be where the better quality head of the cannabis plant is processed.
The heads are sold in grams, and there are hundreds of kilos of them.
It was valued at $45 million worth of cannabis. It was overwhelming. Very seasoned drug squad detectives had smiles on their faces and a look in their eye of like, this is really unbelievable. It's Australia's largest ever seizure of cannabis, 3.2 tonnes of cannabis. I don't think it'll be beaten anytime soon if you're looking at records.
In total, 23 people were arrested and charged. They were sentenced to more than 50 years behind bars. They all played a part in Australia's biggest cannabis plantation, under the guidance of the ringleader, this man, known as Old Bill Hanses. He was running the show.
They didn't see it as if it was so insidious that they could grow cannabis and then they would sell it to people, but as long as they got their money back that they could keep for their family, that's how they justified it.
The Silios, Old Bill Hanses, was charged with knowingly taking part in the cultivation of a large commercial quantity of cannabis and supply. The maximum sentence for that would be 25 years. Bill Hanses pleaded guilty, but died a week before his sentencing.
In all the prisons across New South Wales, there are about 40 inmates whose crimes are so shocking that their files are marked never to be released. Tonight's drug lord is one of those men. He organised the murder of a mild-mannered accountant, a family man. It took police over a year to work out how a massive drug bust and a homicide were directly linked to one man. And that man's name is Yongki Tan.
Yongki Tan came to Australia from Indonesia in 1985. He was only 20. By the time he was 37, he owned an Indonesian restaurant in Kingsford in Sydney's east. It's March 2002, and a member of the public notices the owner of the restaurant, Yongki Tan, and another man doing a drug deal. He sees Yongki Tan giving the man pills. The witness decides to go to the local police. It could all be a hoax, but police have to follow up on the lead. Detectives pull over the man Yongki Tan was seen talking to. His name is Marcel Thay. Detectives now search Marcel's car, and it doesn't take them long to find evidence.
Marcel appeared to be extremely nervous and kept sort of eyeing a small bum bag which was sitting on the back seat. That bum bag on the back seat was a kilo of ecstasy.
The 1 kilogram of ecstasy on the street would be worth $120,000. Marcel Thay is taken into custody. Police now suspect he's dealing drugs. But how big a player is he? And is there a bigger stash at his home? Detectives are at Marcel Thay's home. Marcel's house is a mess. The police can't afford to miss anything. It doesn't take long before detectives get their first find.
White powder, a coffee table.
That powder is ecstasy pills that have been crushed. But as far as drug investigations go, it's hardly a jackpot. Police trust the tip-off and keep searching.
Small set of scales, gram, black in colour.
Within half an hour, another drug find.
One large glad bag containing a smaller glad bag with a multicoloured green, pinkish white powder substance.
It's more ecstasy pills that have been ground down, but this time it's much bigger. That plastic bag would sell for $60,000 on the street. Police are onto something. This is the home of a drug dealer, and who knows what they'll uncover next.
We found documentation, passports.
8:50 p.m. Bedroom 1, a cupboard, large amount of cash.
We found what we call a tick book, which is an indication of amounts of drugs that have been sold to people and for how much, and money that was owing to this particular network for the sale of drugs.
Appears to be a number of entries here, possibly concerning some type of transaction or documentation.
Now police know Marcel is not a small player, but could there be more drugs to find in this house? There's one last place to look, under the stairs. Police pull out box after box.
8:27 p.m.
Then
a large brown box.
That's what they wanted to see. That is a massive stash of ecstasy. Kilo
2
after kilo
3 4
after kilo.
As you can see, it contains 2 large glad resealable bags containing numerous green tablets. They've got a score mark on them and marked MTV on site.
They found a number of green and pink pills, which at the end of the day came to 26 kilos. We estimated it was about $4 or $5 million, which had to hurt the local industry. It was a lot of tablets, a lot of hits.
$4 million worth of drugs from one random tip-off.
We were stoked.
Detectives take the drug haul back to the police station and weigh it right in front of Marcel Thay.
Okay, Marcel, do you agree with me that on the reading on the scales at the moment is 4,863.8 grams?
Yep. The more weight that went on the scales, the more trouble he realised that he was in.
In total, 26 kilograms of ecstasy, and for Marcel, that could mean life behind bars. Police now go after the restaurant owner, Yonki Tan. Police pull over Yonki Tan in his car. From the information they received, police have cause to search the vehicle and are in for a massive surprise.
Police at the time opened up the boot, found the suitcase, opened the suitcase and found an extremely large amount of loose cash, mainly 50s, 20s, $100 notes, just thrown into this large suitcase.
Police confiscate Yonki Tan's car. Others have the task of counting the loose cash found in the boot. It seems never-ending, bundle after bundle, and they just keep coming.
Grand total of $165,300.
$165,000 just lying around in the boot of Yonki Tan's car.
Yonki needed to prove why was he in possession of $165,300. How could he justify carrying that much cash around with him?
It's certainly not normal, and police decide they must search Yonki Tan's home as well.
We have a search warrant to search these premises.
This is the actual police footage of the search of Yonki Tan's house. And it doesn't take them long to find, yeah, even more cash.
There's 1, 2, 3, right.
Next, police confiscate Yonki Tan's computer. Somewhere on this hard drive could be the breakthrough police are looking for. They want to find something to tie Yonki Tan to the 26 kilograms of ecstasy found earlier under the stairs at Marcel's. Police go from room to room.
For the record, 4 passports.
On his bedside table, we located a document called the agreement.
And look whose name is on the lease. Marcel Thay, the man police arrested, the man who had 26 kilograms of ecstasy under the stairs in his house.
Marcel had allegedly entered an agreement with Yonki to lease the garage of Yonki Tan.
The document links Yonki Tan and Marcel, but it's in such an obvious place, police wonder if it's genuine. Is Marcel really renting Yonki's garage, or is there something in the garage Yonki doesn't want police to know is his? And what's in the garage? There's only one way for police to find out.
We opened up the garage, we went in, we had a look, and we identified what looked like a cleaned up drug lab. There were a number of items in there, like bowls, air filters, chemical cooking solutions that had residue on it that was also pink and green, the same pink and green of the tablets that we found at Marcel's place.
Could this be where the 26 kilograms of ecstasy in Marcel's house was made? Police are faced with many questions. Is what's in the garage really Marcel's, or is Yonki Tan setting him up? Police have no proof that Yonki is involved in drugs. All they have on him is the money in the car, and that could be legitimate.
I was reasonably certain that Yonki was a major player in this network. Unfortunately, I was just short of proof.
But this case is about to take a massive twist. For police, it's about to go from a drug investigation to a murder case. Detectives will have to get to the bottom of a homicide. They will discover money laundering and forged documents, and finally piece together how that all links into the drug lord, Yonki Tan. It's been a busy 24 hours for police. They've arrested a man, Marcel Thay, and found 26 kilograms of ecstasy under the stairs in his house. They've arrested another man, Yonki Tan, and found more than $160,000 in his car, but nothing that is obviously illegal. Police have to let Yonki Tan go. They need more evidence before they can charge him with any drug offences.
Yonki Tan is about to become embroiled in a murder investigation. He will organise a hit on an innocent man. But the big question is why?
It's now December, 9 months since the search of Yonki Tan's car. A man called Dominic Lai is at home. He lives in Sydney's inner west, in a modest brick home with his wife and teenage son. Dominic Lai is an accountant, a tireless worker, devoted to his family. It's 7:30 in the morning. Dominic Lai's wife answers the knock at the door. A man has a parcel for her husband and needs his signature. Dominic Lai comes to the front door and unlocks the security screen. He's pinned to the ground. Dominic Lai is turned on his back and acid is poured over his face and down his throat.
In all my time of investigation, I've never seen anything quite as brutal as this attack. It's one of the most barbaric crimes I've ever been involved in investigating.
These are the actual police photos taken from the crime scene. Dominic Lai spent 3 weeks in intensive care before dying from respiratory failure. Police are now investigating a murder.
Because of the nature of the attack, just being so horrific and so personal, it sort of led us to believe that, there was a message behind what it was all about. The people who had arranged it wanted to prove a point.
In any murder investigation, police try to piece together the life of the victim. Dominic Lai was a father, an accountant. He didn't smoke, he didn't do drugs. It just didn't add up. Why was he murdered? With no leads, police put out a plea for information, hoping someone will come forward.
It was an horrific murder. 45-year-old Dominic Lai was forced at gunpoint in front of his family to swallow hydrochloric acid during an attack outside his Sydney home. The acid was so strong, it was still eating away concrete at the crime scene when police arrived.
Police get a tip-off. The name of a man who was heard organising an acid attack. Police get the phone records for that suspect and find around the time of the murder, the man accused of planning the attack was phoning 3 men constantly, including this man. His name is Dax Satori. He's been involved with drugs before, and police use that excuse to arrest him.
Whilst we were preparing to interview him in relation to his involvement with the drug charges, he came out with a phrase similar to, "Is this about the drugs? I thought this was about the murder." Everyone sort of stopped cold and went. And Dax, on that day, told us of his involvement in the murder of Dominic Lai.
This is a breakthrough. Dax agrees to give the police information.
He was brought in to drive the getaway vehicle.
This is the actual police interview from when detectives take Dax back to the exact suburb where Dominic Lai was attacked.
Which was the house? Can you show us? Do you remember what was being said in the car at the time you first drove past the house?
They said to me that they're just gonna scare this guy off.
They're going to scare this guy off?
Yeah. That he said that they were gonna pretend that they're gonna deliver this parcel to this guy.
What happened then? Yep.
They went out about 5 to 10 minutes. It's not even 10 minutes.
Describe to me what happened when they arrived and what was said and that sort of thing.
They were restless, and then I asked them, "So what happened?" He goes, "No, just drive." And you could smell like a really strong stuff, chemical stuff, acid.
And
there was a pistol as well.
A what?
A pistol.
At the point when they got back into the car and there's all this heavy breathing and handing pistols over and the smell of acid, what was going through your mind?
I said, what have they done? Like, what is this guy did? I thought they're just gonna scare him. How come they got guns?
What did you think had happened?
They did something bad.
Police now have confirmation on what happened the day Dominic Lai was attacked and who was involved. But detectives still have one big question. Why? Why would anyone want Dominic Lai dead? They go back to the family, and detectives interview the dead man's brother-in-law, Philip Ma.
He opened up and gave us a complete picture as to Dominic Lai and his involvement with Yonki Tan.
There's that name again, Yonki Tan, the man with the money in the boot of the car. Police have made a direct link between the dead man and Yonki Tan. The victim, Dominic Lai, was an accountant. Yonki Tan was his client.
Police do interviews with the family. They learn that Yonki wanted his victim, Dominic Lai, to launder his money, to make it legal. But Dominic, the accountant, didn't want a bar of it. Detectives learn that Dominic has put Yonki in touch with his brother-in-law, Philip Ma.
So police discover Yonki Tan, the suspected drug lord, and Philip Ma, the brother-in-law, met up. But Philip Ma had a secret that would lead to Dominic's death. Police are investigating a homicide. Dominic Lai, an accountant, is the victim, and the suspect is one of his clients, Yonki Tan. Police now know that the dead man's brother-in-law had agreed to help Yonki Tan launder money.
Yonki would arrange to meet him, and on each occasion he would turn up with a rice sack which was full of money, predominantly $50 and $100 notes. There was at least 100,000 in the rice sack.
Philip Ma takes the money to a casino. He was supposed to swap the cash for chips, then an hour or so later, cash the chips in for fresh, clean money. Philip Ma, Dominic Lai's brother-in-law, was not supposed to gamble.
The only reason that this failed is because Philip Ma is a hopeless gambler. He is an addict and instead of just laundering the money, he lost it. Philip Maher lost approximately $516,000 of Yonki Tan's money. We found a IOU document which was written by Yonki Tan, and he forced Philip Maher to sign.
Police now know the IOU, the debt, was all too much for Philip Maher, and he went into hiding. And just look at whose name is the witness on the IOU. Yes, the murder victim, Dominic Lai.
Yonki formed the opinion that Dominic must have had some sort of knowledge, so whatever they did to Dominic was only fair and just in the retrieval of the money. Their reasoning was, if we attack Dominic, this will flush Philip out, and he will know we mean business.
Yonki Tan is now a suspect in a murder investigation, but police still do not have enough evidence to arrest him. Luckily for police, they still have the computer they seized from his house when investigating the drug matters. The 26 kilograms of ecstasy found underneath the stairs. The forensic examination of the computer police found in Yonki's house is now complete.
It showed us that the document that had been conveniently left out for us on Yonki's bedside table, which was dated some 6 months prior to us executing the search warrant, had in fact been created the night before, after Marcel Lee was already in custody.
It's fake. Police discover it was only created after police began their investigations.
Once we had that, we went and spoke to Marcel T and said, when did you sign this document? And Marcel indicated, it's not my signature. I've never seen this document before.
Thereby Marcel could not have signed that document. Thereby the document was fake.
This, of course, basically indicated that Yonki knew it was there and it was his lab. It had nothing to do with Marcel T.
It's proof that the remains of the drug lab in the garage was in fact Yonki's. It's enough for police to now arrest Yonki on suspicion of drug involvement. This is the actual search, filmed by police. And that is Yonki Tan.
Is there anything you wish to declare, any large amount of money?
No, I think.
Is there anything dangerous in here?
No, there is.
Okay, no large amount of money or anything? Got no money?
No.
What Yonki Tan doesn't know is detectives are searching for drugs, and also anything that could confirm Yonki was involved in the murder of Dominic Lai.
What about these two keys here? This is all horse.
After 4 hours of searching, police have found nothing. Their final hope lies with Yonki Tan's new computer. Could this hold the crucial evidence detectives need? Police believe this man, Yonki Tan, is not only a drug lord, but also the mastermind of the murder of an innocent husband and father, a quiet accountant called Dominic Lai. Police have searched Yonki Tan's house and found nothing, but are hoping somewhere on this new computer there could be evidence. They go through all his emails and find a trail of correspondence.
The emails spelt out the planning that Yonki Tan put in to the attack of Dominic Lai.
This is the actual wording of what police found in emails between Yonki Tan and an associate. Find someone who can threaten D and P, or Dominic and Philip. In another email, all has become clear that P and D cheated on you. What I am saying is that we must do D first so that P will show himself up. In more emails, I really want to see someone do over P and D. With the emails in their possession, police arrest Yonki, then slowly piece together how the drugs, the money, and the murder are linked. Yonki Tan was importing high-grade ecstasy from overseas. That's what was under the stairs at Marcel's. That ecstasy would then be crushed. Then in the garage at the back of Yonki's, they would cut the ecstasy with other ingredients, repress the ecstasy into pills of a lower quality and sell them on the street. Yonki was making so much drug money, he needed to launder it to make it legitimate. So he gave it to Philip Maher, who lost it gambling and then went into hiding. To try to flush Philip Ma out, Yongki Tan organises a hit, the contract kill on his brother-in-law, the accountant Dominic Lai. It took police 16 months to link together all the players, but finally they solved the mystery, and each offender has their day in court. The two men that turned up in the phone records were charged with the murder of Dominic Lai, but a jury determined there was reasonable doubt. They were found not guilty. Dax Satorre, the driver, was sentenced to 12 years jail for his role in the murder. Marcel Thay was charged with supply of a large commercial quantity of ecstasy and received a 4.5-year jail sentence. He has now been deported to Indonesia. Yongki Tan, the mastermind, was sentenced to 25 years jail on multiple drug charges, and for the murder of Dominic Lai, he was sentenced to life without parole, never to be released.